Okay, everyone, I am really sick and tired of kids messing around with fire alarms in public schools. I am really sick and tired of that because that behavior is very dangerous and very illegal. So you cannot be doing that. Messing around with fire alarms in public schools means suspension or expulsion and getting grounded by your parents and getting arrested if you are in high school. Because these are not toys, these are life safety devices that alert people when there is a fire inside the building and they must evacuate the building immediately to save lives, and also alert the fire department to come and put the fire out to prevent damage to the building. So these are not to be messed around with. Also, I am really sick and tired of fire alarm enthusiasts calling modern fire alarm equipment ugly. It seems like every time a new fire alarm device comes out, they call it ugly. It's horrible. Average people don't care. Average people just want something that works to alert people when there is a fire and they must evacuate to save lives. They don't care about the looks. They care about how it is going to do its job. There are a lot of people that don't know that this is a public notification device for buildings for fire purposes. You should be grateful that you are able to collect fire alarms in the first place for a hobby because they are not meant for us to collect. They are public notification devices in buildings for fire related purposes. So you should be grateful that you're able to collect them in the first place instead of calling them ugly. Especially with the vintage stuff that is not being used in buildings anymore. And you should be grateful that you can find it on eBay. It seems like whenever a new fire alarm device comes out, people call it ugly. When the LED L series from System Sensor came out, people called it ugly. When the Xenon L series came out, people called it ugly. When the Advance came out, people called it ugly. When the Classic came out, people called it ugly. When the Edwards EST Genesis horn strobes, the white circular ceiling mount version came out, people called those ugly. People said the Integrity is the worst alarm ever because it protrudes out of the wall. It takes up too much wall space. What a load of crap. You should be thankful that you're able to collect them because they are not meant for us to collect. They are meant for buildings. When the Simplex True Alert came out, people called it ugly. When the modern wheel lock devices came out, people called it ugly. When any modern stuff comes out, people call it ugly. This has got to stop. These are all fire alarms for crying out loud. These were meant to do one thing. These were meant to save lives in a fire. People are so judgmental about it. Even Jimmy said it. Jimmy said those people that call modern fire alarm equipment ugly are so judgmental. Even Fire Alarm Dude 5967 said it. Enough is enough. Dante Stoner, Greg's Life Safety, Life Safety Greg even said it. Enough is enough. Captain Chris has even said it too. What Captain Chris did was use my face for my videos. Captain Chris used my videos without my permission, and that was very ignorant of him to do that. He said tamper with my alarm. He came into my bed and stole this fire alarm. He really didn't do it, but he used my content. What the bleep? Captain Chris does not even know where I live. And I don't reveal my address online. Because that is private information. But Captain Chris thinks I did it. So he made a video out of me. I keep my address private. I don't post it online. That is private information. But these people try to take advantage of me, even though I keep my freaking address private. Unbelievable. Anyone in the fire alarm community. When Nick's Systems and Electric fan page made a video saying that I did it, said to do it, he put his phone on the fire alarm and pulled it down. I'm sick and tired of these toxic people in the fire alarm community. And some of the fire alarm community has got involved in politics, unfortunately. These people need to stop. These people need to stop calling fire alarm devices ugly. These people need to stop saying it is okay to mess with fire alarm equipment in a public building when it is not. If you pull fire alarms for fun, you will be locked up in prison because that is very illegal because you are putting someone else's life at risk for doing that. That is very illegal because you are putting someone else's life at risk for doing that. So don't do that. Goodbye. Peace out.